while, someone asked me to tell them more about how I make newspaper pots, so I thought I'd show you. First off, get some newspaper, and then get something that you don't mind getting wet. It's helpful to have a small amount of water to get the newspaper wet. And get whatever you're using for the form of your newspaper pots. You can buy those online, but I find it pointless when an old pill bottle or a can or even a jar or something larger, if you're doing a larger pot, works really well. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your newspaper, you get a single sheet, you cut off like down the middle, right? And then what I do is I fold it in half, like so, pressing down on that seam. The seam, the part that's open, I want that to face the bottom of what will be the pot, because that way when I go to fill up the pot, the soil doesn't fall in between the papers and create a mess. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to run this fairly quickly through your container of water, because you just want it to get wet enough to be flexible and stick to itself without being so wet that starts getting mushy and fall aparty. Take your form and roll up the newspaper. Keep it fairly tight and just keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Oh, you're at the end. So now what you're gonna do, you're gonna fold over the end, and this form's a little short for the height of the paper I ended up using. You can cut your paper or get a taller form. Ta-da! You have a newspaper pot. Ta-da! And it doesn't sit exactly straight up right now, but that's not a problem. It will once it's filled with soil. If you want to see what they look like after they've been holding a plant, this is a ground cherry, and I transplanted it in here from its starting tray, I don't know, a week or two ago. So they are newspaper pots, so they do biodegrade, so you can plant them right in your garden. And when I go to plant this, I'm going to make sure that the top of the newspaper pot itself is underneath the surface, because otherwise it can act as a wick if it's sticking above the surface of the ground and dry out the pot and make it harder. But in my experience, by the time I'm ready to plant this transplants outside, the paper has degraded a bit and the roots have grown enough that they're holding together the soil itself, so there will be like little roots already poking out. I just plant it there, and there's like no transplant shock. It's really easy. It's a great way to grow plants that are a little more finicky about their roots and getting transplanted, like squash, for example. I've had a lot of success with squash transplants using newspaper pots. Okay, hopefully that was at least vaguely helpful. Have a great day.